And now, your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Mr. Jeff, how was your weekend, senor?
I had a rough week, so I appreciate you guys letting me take last week off. It would not be good to have me on all teary-eyed and acting weird. So I'm happy to be back. It was exciting to have so much wrestling this week. I love whenever it's a PLE weekend, so that part was great. It was a good wrestling week, and also for my Seattle sports, it was a good week. So in those ways, it was positive.
Go Seattle sports. What did they do? I don't know. Like, what happened in
Seahawks
Seattle?
Won. The Seattle Mariners.
Oh, the Seahawks won.
The Astros. And then the Huskies won in the Apple Cup. And me wearing this hat makes it kind of blasphemous that I'm even talking about this. But it was a good Seattle sports week.
You wear every baseball hat in the world. It's like guys that have every wrestler shirt in the world. Pick your favorite and move on. This was Toronto. Toronto loves their wrestling. They don't get it as often as Americans do. So, I'm not crapping on American crowds. But they just, we see it all the time, so we don't get as hyped as the towns that don't get it all the time, at least the major products, right? So Toronto went bananas, and they opened the show with Toronto's own Edge, Adam Copeland, and Christian Cage, formerly known as Christian, the Asshole and the Viking, versus FTR, which is Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, and Stokely Hathaway came out. He can't get any hoes, so it sucks for Stokely Hathaway. Life's tough for him right now. But the crowd went bananas for Adam Copeland. And it's so wild to me, Jeff. I know the first verse of every wrestler's intro. After that, I couldn't tell you a single word, not because I don't care, because I can't understand what they're saying. These crowds know every single word. And because they're all yelling at once, I can't understand it, so I can't learn the song ever. I guess there's lyric videos on YouTube, I've been told, but I've never seen one of those before. I don't know how they do this, but they go so bananas, and to see these older hats appreciate that response, and you see the adrenaline like going crazy in Copeland, or you're like, dude, don't blow out before the match. I'm like, he was so hyped. But it just makes me feel good to see like Randy Orton get his song sung in Paris, and to see Adam Copeland get his song sung everywhere he goes. And I know you don't always like the crowd involvement, but I feel like you dig this too when they're singing along and partying, right?
Oh, I love it. I love that. And it shows that like the wrestler that they've got some support. When they're coming down the ramp, let's do all the fan things. Let's do all that. That's your time to shine, audience.
There you go. Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah.
I have, maybe you're confusing that I've criticized when the wrestlers lip sync their own lyrics coming down. Like Rhea Ripley is like a high school girl going, I know all the lyrics to this. You're like, yeah, we know. Just come out and be badass. Be mommy.
Don't. How does she know the words? I don't know the words. This match was awesome, but the part that kind of like tickled my heart, Jeff, was when Cena had his match. I think it was against Sami Zayn. He was like shouting out all his bros in wrestling by doing their moves, right? Mm-hmm. And he did Edge's spear, and he did the like, come on, get up, you son of a bitch.
I didn't know this was a thing, by the way.
You didn't know this was a thing? I didn't know
is there a history of this? Is there a history of being like, well, I want to honor Stone Cold, so I will steal the Stone Cold Stunner for this match?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it steal. I get what you're saying, but I wouldn't call it stealing. It's like I'm paying tribute and homage and respect.
But is there a history of this?
Probably. I just can't think of it off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's been done. But the good energy was returned in full by Edge, as he legit did the Cena, you can't see me, and the shuffle and brush the dirt off his shoulder and hit him, which is so out of character for Edge. But for Adam Copeland at AEW, it feels right. And it just made me smile when I saw it in the match. And you knew the good guys were going to win. The good guys had to win. Shout out to Dax Harwood, who wrestled with a freaking broken nose that got smashed a few days before. And instead of getting it fixed and all lovely, he's like, nah, I'm just going to leave it broken and wrestle professionally and get hit in that nose repeatedly every time my face hits the freaking canvas. So respect to both teams. Love wrestlers that bleed, sweat, and cry for their art. We got a lot of that in that opening match. And with the tears were Beth Phoenix, man. This was like, they sort of did this in WWE, but they didn't give Beth this moment. And this was kind of my favorite part of the match, dude. This is how you want your wife to go. This is like straight up Patricia Arquette in True Romance, like taking a beating for her man and not giving up where the cash is. There's a moment, Jeff, where Edge or Adam Copeland is handcuffed to the ropes and Christian's all beat up. FDR killed him. So he's dead. And now they're going to kill Adam. And he's like, go. Just go, baby, just go. And like every dude with a wife is like, yeah, that's what I would do too. I just take the beating and tell my wife to go and not watch it. And his wife, literally, Beth, just goes, basically, fuck that. I'm sorry. Wham! Yeah. And she starts trying to whip asses. And they're like, no, we're not having that, Beth. We're going to put you in a pile driver, jump off the top rope and blast your neck too. And she took it like a friggin' champ. It was so awesome. And this is after the match is won. And everybody's feeling good, and they're like, "Yeah, you don't get to feel good anymore, Toronto." And then they went and killed. They killed Beth too. So everybody's dead, which means the rivalry's not over. And I'm really excited because the match was a ton of fun. What was your favorite part of this match? Was it the Beth Phoenix part too, or was it when she speared Stokely? Like, what was your favorite part of all this?
I definitely liked the part you've already addressed, that he was doing all the tribute John Cena stuff. And then John Cena actually posted online a photo of Edge or Adam Copeland in the Rated R Superstar. He posted a picture of it as like another.
Oh, that's cool.
They just keep going back and forth, which I like. Also, if you want your wife to defend your honor physically, Beth Phoenix is definitely the wife you should have. Like, that's
Hell
like,
yeah.
Not everybody, CM Punk says, my wife's going to come out here and handle things. And his wife is this tiny, beautiful woman that doesn't, she's not that physically intimidating. But
no, one. Beth's like
Beth
5'9".
Copeland, she's known to be a badass. You can break her open and she'll still keep wrestling, She'll wrestle before she gets the stitches. So I just liked the whole match. I thought it was very, very well done. I wasn't here to pick who I thought would win, but I definitely would have picked Adam Copeland.
Yeah, this was the easiest pick of the night. Both Alex and I picked Cope and Cage to win, or Cage and Cope. Sorry, Christian. Cage and Cope. And that was my Christian impression, by the way. Of course, they won. Stokely Hathaway still has no hose, and we're going to start a GoFundMe account for him so he can get himself some hose. All right, next match. We're stupid. Next match is Eddie Kingston versus Big Bill.
My boy.
With Brian Keith, not the Outlaw, the Bounty Hunter, coming out there to help him whip ass. This was a singles match. It was kind of made on, not kind of, it was made on Collision with Big Bill beating asses and saying, yo, I'm the king of New York, and everybody's, chanting for your name. Like assholes are chanting for CM Punk's name over in the other company when another wrestler's out there. I'm going to show you that I'm the king of New York. And Eddie Kingston's like, are you out of your fucking mind? I will come out of retirement, not retirement, but off injury, and bust your ass. That's exactly what happened, Jeff. He went out there and Eddie got his ass beat for a long time. But that's kind of his thing, right? Like, you can whip my ass, but at the end of the day, I'm tougher than you. I can take more of what you can dish out than what you can take when I dish it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he's very like Mankind. Mankind, it's almost like he was liking the pain a little bit. Like that. Like it's a very masochistic, like, all right, I can just endure more punishment than you. And I wish more wrestlers had that reputation or stylings.
You love Darby, and Darby does that like tenfold. It's like, yeah, you might be able to whip my ass, but I'm going to always get up. It
makes the other wrestler look good, too. I like that.
Agreed. This was, to me, an easy pick. To Alex, it was an easy pick. Maybe for y'all, it wasn't so easy, so you trusted us, and you put some big money down on Mr. Eddie Kingston, the Mad King, because if you did, you won, and you won big. Now, that doesn't apply to this next match. And I'm a fool, all right? I'm an idiot and a fool, because I picked MJF to win a match that's out of his element, and a match that was completely in Mark Briscoe's element. And I even told a story of how MJF could lose this match. And instead of listening to that story, I was like, oh, that's just some fiction, bad booking on my part. And no, it actually would have friggin' worked. And when I look back, I was like, oh, yeah, that totally makes sense. I should have picked Mark Briscoe to win a match that he invented, basically. Not invented, but called out. And I didn't, and I lost you guys money, and I'm sorry. However, if you went with Alex and I on all these picks on both shows, you ended up making money because we got more right than we got wrong. So just remember that. Jeff, tell the people how you felt what I thought was going to be the bloodiest match of the night. I forgot that Jon Moxley was on the card. But this, even though I kind of love him blood, there were some squeamish moments for me. So I'm going to let you take over, sir.
I would have lost anybody who was using my picks a lot of money, I have a track record of being right in the middle, I think. I don't think that anybody would say, oh, Jeff loses all of his picks or Jeff wins all his picks. I'm very, very in the middle because I always just pick who I like best. And there has never been a time that I would have picked MJF to lose anything. And so I would have definitely picked MJF and lost you some money. If you want to talk about a match that just had pound for pound great spots, this was your match. And also, old Freddie, about, a year ago, would have really liked this hardcore match because it wasn't bloody and it wasn't as bloody and gooey as a Jon Moxley match. So this is an old school hardcore Freddie Prinze Jr. match.
Yeah.
Plenty of great spots. I loved the table spots with the old tacks. We need to get back to that. I miss those days. Tacks hurt. Everyone goes, ooh. And then also we don't see a lot of blood because it's just tacks. There's not like it's not like a bandsaw, which is what we'll be doing in 10 years from now. They'll say, oh, the whoever cuts the other guy's legs off is what's going to win.
Texas table saw match.
It'll be some crazy nonsense. So this match was great, and it wasn't too. It was a great way to book a match that was awesome to watch, but not super super gross, in my opinion.
There were tacks in the back of my man's head.
Yeah, that's cool. And the glittery,
bro. That was the part where I was like, someone pull those out right now. Like I could feel them in the back of my head. And it made me uncomfortable. And you're right. I'm liking blood again, but sometimes it gets me, bro. I like it more in movies when I know it's fake. Anyway, I picked MJF. So did Alex, and we let you guys down. And I'm sorry. And the hits keep on coming, Jeff, because we let you down twice in a row. This was a trios match. The return of MVP with the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. A standard of excellence that few people can reach, and I picked them to win because of that standard, and I was wrong. Some shady shit went down in this match that I'm not liking. It should have just been straight down the middle, but it wasn't because Ricochet's involved. Khan and Toa Leona, they won the damn match, and I lost you guys money. So the future will still be bright for Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. I'm not worried about them in any way, shape, or form. Can't wait to see Bobby go after the title so I can pick him to win and be right and make you guys some more money. Senor Joffrey, how did you feel about the Hurt Syndicate losing this match?
I don't really have an opinion about the Hurt Syndicate losing necessarily, but I liked the match. I think that I'm almost starting to feel like AEW is like the AAA compared to, or not AAA because there's a wrestling group called AAA. It's like the minor leagues to WWE now. The whole time I'm watching the match, I'm like, I wonder if Ricochet could come back to WWE. I'm wondering if Shelton Benjamin or Bobby Lashley could come. I just keep thinking like that. And even though it was a great match, that's all I could keep thinking. But any match where you got Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Ricochet, and these other guys are good too, but those three alone is going to be an A+ fun match to watch.
And Ricochet's playing a really good dickhead right now. He's even like shitting on people online, and like he's being a better heel than he was a babyface, and he seems like a nice guy before he went all heel on everybody. So I'm sure he's like a nice dude in real life. He just got married, so someone out there loves him. But man, is he a piece of shit out there, like just shitting on people left and right. He's doing great.
Yeah, wormy guy.
Weaselly, wormy, yeah, slimy, slick son of a bitch. Anyway. Moving on. Back to our winning ways on this show and back to making people money. Now, granted, not a hard one to pick. They didn't give Rio a big story here. I'm talking about Mercedes Moné versus Rio for the AEW TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné misses 123 belts versus misses no belts, Rio. And Rio came into this match with not a lot of momentum, so I don't think that's why anyone was going to pick her. You just knew you'd get a good match, and that's what we got. But Mercedes Moné wins again. This is sort of the foundation and the building blocks that she's going to stand on. I'm still waiting for the story. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the matches are always awesome. Like every match she's in, I'm like, yo, man, she's one of the top chicks in the world. I don't mean chicks disrespectfully. I call guys dudes and girls chicks, and I mean it all in the same way. But I know some of y'all don't like chicks, so sorry about that. But yeah, dude, her matches are all money, but I just would love to get her in a story where, you know, she's being hunted and threatened in a more, in a more creative way. That's all, Jeff. That's how I feel.
I agree 100%. She is too big of a star to just go, I don't know, we gave her the belt. You're like, I know, but it's not enough. It's a great example that, like, wrestling has to be a story. It doesn't matter how technical the wrestling is or how fancy your outfit is when you walk out to the ring. It has to have a story. That's all we care about.
The AEW Unified Championship Tournament Final had a story, Jeff, and it has a story of some potential conflict within the Don Callis family between Okada, the champ, and Konosuke, the challenger in this case, but they're brothers in arms within the Don Callis family, Okada being the newest member of that family. So there's a little friction. There's a little, hey, new guy, what's up, man? Like, why are you tagging me out when I'm trying to wrestle when they're in a tag match? And all of a sudden, he's like in this triple threat. He's like, yo, why are you trying to take my title if we're in the same family, butthole? And Konosuke is like, don't call me a butthole, dickhead. And it's kind of getting like that, like two alpha males kind of going back and forth. And Don Callis is loving it because he just loves, like, alpha dogs fighting to see who the best is. He's not even really picking sides. He's just like, yeah, let's fucking go. If you want to fight, let's fight. So that's the story there. And they had Máscara Dorada in there as like a third triple threat, but everyone knew he wasn't going to win. He was just there to look awesome and do sweet luchador moves. So they're all in there. Now, Alex and I both picked Konosuke. We thought it was time, but we did present an example of how and why Okada could win as well. So if you bought that and didn't talk yourself out of the pick like my dumbass did, congratulations. And if you listened, I'm sorry once again. I missed some on this. AEW, they trick me sometimes. They go left when I go right. WWE is a lot easier to pick. But this match was sick. Okada is the friggin' man. Konosuke's the man. Mascara's the man. Like, all three of these dudes. Mascara couldn't have won or it would have felt weird, and we'll get into a one that felt weird in just a moment. I love the Japanese dudes, and Dorado was awesome too, but quickly becoming like one of my favorite wrestlers. I just love the stories he tells in the ring. I don't care what his English is like right now. I just want to watch him do his thing. He's like a Japanese Randy Orton as far as like ring psychology and the way he moves in there and that kind of shit. So anyway, those are my thoughts on a match that maybe not a lot of people cared about, but I thought it was cool and I liked the conflict. Take it away, Jeff.
Well, I was just going to say it's a tough match to pronounce all the names. I'll say that. If you got those three guys. Also, a second ago, I was just saying, hey, listen, we need story. It's not just wrestling in costume. This had great wrestling. Incredible wrestling. Had good story. And needed better costume. These guys, these Japanese wrestlers, they just come out in their little singlet. Maybe they could step up the wardrobe over there in Japanese wrestling. How's that for constructive criticism for the? Because Japanese wrestling is so pure. Everybody loves it. Like that's where you get your stripes in wrestling as you go to Japan. And there's not much to criticize when it comes to Japanese wrestling. But let's work on the costume. But you should have
like
more.
The old school Mike Tyson when he just come out with the towel, did you like that? Or do you like more like the UFC entrances where like Israel Adesanya is coming out and doing all his wild shit? Like, what did you prefer in like the fight world?
Dude. I love a gimmick.
No, what?
Bro. I love the big crazy stuff.
All right.
I want them to have like full, come out as a whole dragon, like Mortal Kombat style, and then take it off. You know what I'm saying?
Like the old Chinese dragon parade things where they go. Yeah, that would be
I
dope.
like that. I'm
dope.
into that. And what's funny is all the female wrestlers in WWE and the Japanese wrestlers, Asuka, Kairi Singh, they have so much going on. They're so great to look at with the costume and the makeup and the hair and all the stuff and the props and the things they come out with, the masks and all the things. So why can't the male Japanese wrestlers step it up a bit with the costume?
They're too manly for you, bro. They're just too manly.
I know. Well, it's just too boring to look at. But I'll give them their flowers when it comes to wrestling and when it comes to the story. It's all A+++. I was just trying to find something to criticize, and I realized I just said we don't care about costume, and I'm like, well, I care about costume on this when it's not good enough.
Well, you criticized yourself too, so it's all fair. Well, you love gimmicks. The next match was a gimmick match. It was a coffin match. And once again, you knew Darby Allin was going to go full force into a friggin' coffin, and he did. So if that's what you were hoping for, it didn't disappoint. I'm a father of two, and it scared the shit out of me when he does that because he looks so young, and I'm like, that's somebody's child. And this was a bloodbath. Jon Moxley was like bleeding out his friggin' head and his ear and his face, and Darby Allin was covered in it. There was blood in the tag match too, but it was a different kind of blood. It was like little bits of blood. This was like gushing horror movie blood. Jon Moxley doesn't care. He will cut himself for his art and bleed all over that canvas every night of the week if they let him. I'd imagine. He came out with Marina Shafir, who's been doing a lot better. I haven't heard her cuss on TV. She was like, "You get the fuck out of my way." She wasn't playing. And this was the Darby Allin match. He would have won. And me and Alex, we picked him to win. But that bastard Pac made his freaking comeback. He cut his hair. That son of a bitch wrecked it. And he assists Moxley. Moxley gets the win. Don't forget they got Daniel Garcia out there. They still have Wheeler Yuta that everyone hates. Those fuck you Yuta chants still exist. That's kind of funny. And he still got Claudio too. So the Death Riders are no friggin' joke, and Moxley gets the win, which keeps him and them strong. Darby then later that night wanted to kill him and burn him and murder him, which is illegal. You can't do that, Darby Allin. You can't be a sore loser like that. That's a spoil sport, straight up. That's what we call you in the 80s if we were kids. A spoil sport. He was, I know you love him, but that's a spoil sport move. That's like slapping the wrestler after he beats you. That's a punk move. We could talk about Io Sky too. Anyway, I got this one wrong, so F this match. It was really good, but I lost it, so I hate it. Go ahead, Jeff. Take it away.
Yeah, I loved this match. This has all the things I like. This is all the stuff I'm into for sure. This is what I used to exaggerate about in 9th grade whenever I'd come back to school and tell people about ECW that I watched on my parents' TV scrambler. And then there was one part where he put him in a coffin, and then later he tried to set him on fire. I mean, this has all the things a teenage boy wrestling fan loves, and I'm here for it. All the things Darby Allin does that I think are cool, I would hate if someone did in real life. I don't really like the example it might be setting for people, and maybe this is just me getting old, but I was there for it, and love a coffin match, love Jon Moxley, love Darby Allin. I thought this was very, 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 very well done, and this is the kind of stuff that can keep AEW in business and put it to the top. Maybe someday being greater than WWE. It was very, very fun. My type of shit.
The weirdest match of the night, Jeff. The AEW Women's World Championship, a fatal four-way that Toni Storm, the champ, asked for because she doesn't want to be defeated. She wants to be killed in that ring. That's the only way she's going to stop. And so she asked for this. She got it. She got Chris Statlander. She got Jamie Hayter, who was my dark horse to win it, although I had Toni retaining, versus Tekla, who's new to the game and does some cool, creepy shit, but we don't know her that well yet, so I don't think anybody was going to pick her. I was certainly not going to pick Chris Statlander. If that was your dark horse out there, someone, respect to you for making this right. She won straight up via pinfall. Toni looked stunned, not as stunned as me, not just because I don't like losing. I was shocked. I hadn't seen a story or a clue that would lend itself to me thinking Chris could win that match. So congratulations, and I wish her all the best. I wish her good luck, man. I want to see what they have planned for her title reign. Is it a temporary thing? Are they giving her a shot? They're going to give her a story, and they got something planned? I don't know, but it caught me totally off guard. I thought Tony was for sure going to win, and eventually it would be her versus Jamie Hayter in like a singles match with a story behind it. But yeah, they tricked me. They tricked Alex, and I think they tricked everybody. Did they trick you, Jeff Dye?
Well, I didn't make any picks, so I kind of watched this half-heartedly. And since I didn't make any picks, I can confidently tell you I would have chose all the correct ones. I would have known.
I'm sure you would have.
I would have bad. You should have listened to me because I would have 100% predicted all these.
I could see you actually picking her, actually.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't have voted for Toni Storm, I'll tell you that. So I could have, Chris Stratlander might have been my pick because I'm a little Toni Storm hater. But this was it was fun. It was a fun match. I don't have much to say about it.
I was wrong, so F that match too. All right, next up. The AEW World Tag Team Championship, which was a 4-way ladder match. A lot of chaos in the ring. Hard for my old eyes to keep track of everything, but still a really cool, badass match. Mm-hmm. I did not pick Brodito to retain. I had the Young Bucks going over because they've had some good luck going their way lately. So did Alex. What I didn't anticipate was Jack Perry coming back. What else I didn't anticipate was them going, you know what? Heel Jack Perry wasn't the best Jack Perry. The best Jack Perry is Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
And I agree.
And the babyface Jack Perry is back. We didn't know. At first we thought it was evil. We were like, oh, evil Jack Perry's back. And then the Young Bucks were going to beat his ass. Luchasaurus comes out and beats their ass. And all of a sudden it's the return of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus to the tag team division. And everybody gets to love him again. And he'll cut a good promo. Talking about where he's been, what his goals are now, why he's changed, all that good stuff. And welcome back, Jack Perry, to professional wrestling. I was wrong, even though this match was cool. F this match too. I know you loved it, Jeff.
I was fine with it. Here's the thing. This might be a controversial take, but there's some wrestlers who should never be heels. I've said it before on here a million times. This heel face nonsense in wrestling is I've got a lot of fatigue for it. I like when someone is bad, and I like when someone is good. This flip-flopping back and forth is annoying, but also there's some wrestlers who should just never be good guys, and some wrestlers who should just never be bad guys. And I didn't buy Jack Perry as like this badass heel for 1 second. I mean, it's. I think that he's a little underdog. He's Luke Skywalker. We should be rooting for him.
Totally with you on that. Yeah,
he should be our guy that we root for, that we identify with. Like, Jack, we want you as us, as a good guy. And I think same happened with John Cena as a heel. Like, John Cena as a heel, we just didn't buy it. It wasn't enough. We just watching it going, but you're the guy. You're the Make-A-Wish guy. You're the troop guy. You're our hero. And I know that this also might be not well received, but everyone that I've ever talked to in wrestling says it's easier to be a heel. And so, yeah, I guess that's why you probably like it, because it's fun to tell fans to shut up, and it's a little easier to be a grump and mean, and like it's kind of fun to be the naughty piggy in the mud. But some guys should just be good, and a great example of that is Jack Perry, in my opinion.
Title of this episode is Piggy in the Mud. More good storytelling in the main event, the AEW World Championship. Adam Hangman Page versus Kyle Fletcher. Did not have a ton of time to set this match up, but Fletcher was so superb on the mic throughout this, and his point of view on who he is and what he sees as obstacles and how he approaches life and obstacles was so clear-cut and so well written and executed that I was very, very excited to see the match, because both men had a reason why. Adam Page communicated his side of the story very well, saying, I see a lot of myself in you, Kyle, but you're not ready to carry a company yet. You're just not ready. You're 26. You're physically ready, but you don't get all the responsibilities that come with it. And Kyle Fletcher's like, yo, fuck that, fuck you. I'm young. I don't listen to advice from old people. I'm not trying to, like, that was his point of view, right? Like, don't take advice from someone you wouldn't ask advice from, is that like young mentality. Instead of like, no, dude, you can learn a lot from just about everybody out there. So steal what you can and make it your own, right? That's the more open-minded way of looking at advice, whether it's solicited or not. But Kyle Fletcher said, fuck you, Freddie, and fuck you, Adam Page. I'm doing it my way. And he did. And this match was awesome. And he wrestled cocky and confident. He wrestled like a man who was ready. Adam Page was right. And he retains the title via pinfall. The Don Callis family couldn't interfere. They weren't allowed to. Damn you with your smart negotiating tactics, Adam Page. So we got a straight up match, and Adam Page, the champ, got to keep his promise, which was you aren't ready yet. It would have looked really bad if he lost and was wrong on his reason why. So this was an awesome match. Hangman's growing on me. Kyle Fletcher, we said it when when his tag team partner first got hurt. Like, yo, that guy's way cooler than his partner. Like, yeah, like we both liked him. We just didn't know if he could talk. Well, he can fucking talk, and he's the TNT champion, and he's going to talk a lot of shit. Jeff, match of the night for me. I loved it. And I thought the reason why was awesome. What'd you think?
I thought it was awesome. It's never going to be the match of the night for me when you have a coffin match and a ladder match and a four-way. You know, I'm never going to give it the match of the night, but I do love a lone cowboy, and I do love Hangman Adam Page. Kyle Fletcher, I am a huge fan of. I don't see him as like my guy who I'm rooting for, but he is incredible in the ring. So I really, really like this match. The spot of Hangman Adam Page doing his like I don't even know what the move is called, but like putting his knees through the table, man, that went viral. I saw it like 20 times. I was avoiding wrestling, including our text threads, because I was like, I didn't get to watch WrestlePalooza till literally yesterday. I didn't watch this till after WrestlePalooza at like 2 p.m. Like I was just sitting there trying to catch up on all the wrestling, and I was avoiding any kind of spoilers or anything. But I was unable to avoid that table spot. I got it. It was just everywhere on Twitter. It was everywhere on my Instagram. So it's kind of tough to avoid, but that means something good. People loved it or people liked it.
Yeah, it was great.
This match was awesome, and I think everything happened as it should have. I think Hangman definitely should have retained, and I loved it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the AEW All Out, the very first Max era AEW pay-per-view. Not too hard for me to buy. It was very manageable for my old brain to process how to get the pay-per-view. So thank you for not making it too hard. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Wrestling with Freddie, and leave us some reviews on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, keep an eye open for our socials, as we will soon announce a special Federation Speaks edition of the show where you guys can submit your questions or thoughts for us to play live on the air. Now, stay tuned for tomorrow's show, Unsanctioned Thursday, where we're going to give you guys the results and talk WrestlePalooza and more. On behalf of Jeff Dye, I'm Freddie Prinze. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow. Peace.